Welcome to Lyric Lab Poetry. My name is Martin Jago, and in this video we are returning to a subject I've touched on previously, something called ekphrastic poetry. And ekphrasis is when you use poetry to explore a visual cue, an image, such as a painting. It could also be a sculpture. I'm thinking of John Keats' Ode to a Grecian Urn. It could even be a photograph. And in the previous video, which I will put a link to at the end of this video, I gave you 3 prompts. And the first prompt was to select an image and then respond to it using the external eye, in other words, exploring everything you see, the colors, the textures, the composition, the light, the shade, and so on and so forth. And then the second prompt was to explore the image using, or a new image, using the internal eye, in other words, reflecting in terms of emotions and associations. And then finally, to respond with a prompt using the imaginative eye to consider what's actually happening beneath the image that you are studying, and then to bring that all together maybe in a fourth exercise in which you use a new image and draw on all 3 of those elements from those 3 different prompts. So that, in a nutshell, is what we explored in video 1, and we're going to continue in this video with new prompts. And again, we're going to return to the use of our random image generator. If you don't know what one of those is, it's one of these combined with one of these kind of coffee table art books that you can pick up at any local thrift store, and you're going to flick through the book and just land at random on an image. Here's a startling image to land on, and you're going to use the image as a prompt. And in the first exercise, which is called before or after, you're going to choose either before or after and write using poetry to explore the thing that happens immediately before the image is distilled by oils on canvas, or the moment immediately after. So that's prompt 1. And now moving on to prompt 2, I'm going to use a different random image generator over here. I get a good workout because these books are about £10 a piece. I flick through at random, I choose my image, and there we are. I've got a new image to work with. And this time I'm going to translate through senses. That's the name of the prompt, to translate through senses, and every sense apart from sight. So were I in the world of this image, what would the things that I would be able to touch and feel? What were the things that I would be able to taste maybe, or smell? And what would the things that I would be able to hear? And then finally, for the third prompt, going back to my first image generator, here we are, a wonderful image to study. Then I'm going to contradict the image, is the name of the third prompt. You're going to study the painting and you're going to respond through poetry in a way that seems to contradict or to argue against the image that you are exploring. And for each of these prompts, as with the previous exercise, I want to use one kind of constraint, and that is that you're going to write no more than 7 to 10 lines in each of these prompts. Sometimes in poetry, constraint is something that can be very liberating. Working within perhaps a constraint such as a metrical form can be very useful. So constraint is liberating, says the deeply repressed British poet. Yes, well, there we are. That tells a story all of its own. But anyway, I hope you find that interesting way into ekphrasis and ekphrastic poetry. It's a very, very popular form of poetry, and you just need to click into any search engine online, type in the words ekphrastic poetry examples, and then take a look at the image that's being referenced by the poet. There are lots of different ways you can approach this. And let me know down in the comments below if you've given this exercise or one of these prompts a go, how you get on, what image you used, and how were you exploring the image. It just remains for me to say thank you for watching, and as always, I will be back soon with more poetry content.